Hey everybody, this is me again, Benjamin, Queen of the Holy Rosary, and we have the youth minister here, and just have the last video in a four-part video series, which is entitled Benjamin's Traditional 10-Step Plan for the Care of My Soul. And so, again, these 10 steps have been, a blessing in my life, and for me, just a personal sharing of some things that have helped draw me close to God that I wanted to share with you. As you may or may not know, we're on step number 9 and also step number 10. So, without further ado, step number 9 is to pray. I know, you're amazed. You're amazed at that step, I know. Well, we'll talk a lot about this step in just a minute, the step which is entitled to pray, and then I'll talk about step number 10, the last and final step, which is celebrate well the sacramental life of the church. Again, step number 10 is celebrate well the sacramental life of the church. But I just want to go back to step number 9 and explain it, to pray. Now you've noticed, probably, maybe, I don't know if you noticed this, but in all of these things that I've tried to share with you, all prior 8 steps, there has been a common thread in all of them. There's lots of common threads, but one of the common threads is simply that all 8 steps, you do not have to go out of the round of your daily life in order to accomplish them. And that's part of what has really blessed me. So the only thing you have to do with all of those 8 steps is to focus with God's grace, and to cultivate a bit of an interior life in your day-to-day activities, whatever you're doing, and sometimes to reflect on those activities. And that's it. So very, very, hopefully, and I think what's been a blessing for me is that it's all practical. It's all practical. But now we've come to step number 9, and it is to pray. And the idea here is to, yes, in this step, you do need to carve out a specific time in your day in order to pray. In the morning, in the evening, in the night, in the middle of the day, whatever. Maybe several times. It depends on what God is calling you to. There's a lot of things to be said about praying and carving out this time to do that. I can't get to all of them here, so I'm going to share 2 points with you, or maybe it's just 1 point. I forget. But anyway, what I'm going to share is that this helped me a lot in my own prayer posture, and that is simply when I come before God and I pray, instead of having a litany of requests and demands and prayer intentions and constantly talking to God for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it is really to switch that disposition and to cultivate kind of like a disposition from, the prophets of the Old Testament. When they meet God, they say, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." And then they listen to him, and he tells them what to do, right? He also encourages them. He also, blesses their life. He also reprimands them. He does a lot of things when they listen to him. And so that's it, really, is just a simple disposition in my own prayer and spirituality, is to come before God in that time and say, instead of saying all these things in my vocal prayers, oh, this, God, okay, I'm done, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. No, is to say, speak, Lord, your servant is listening, and then be silent. And I guess, yeah, that's the second point of prayer that I want to talk about, is silence. We need silence, and we need a lot of it, but it's so hard and so awkward. So I just want to encourage you on that point. It takes a long time to get used to silence, and it is so mandatory, especially if you do want to change your prayer posture from all the time talking to God and some of the time listening to God. And isn't that important in all of our relationships? Imagine if we did all of the talking, you know, like the president or something. Oh, did I say that? I mean, what I mean is all the talking, all the talking, all the talking. And in a relationship, none of the listening. None of the listening. So we can't do that with God, and that's just my encouragement here, is to change in your life that prayer posture. Start your prayer, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. Come, Holy Spirit. And then be in silence and see what God has to say to you. Now, there's not a lot of time that I can cover. You know, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, I'd love to do that, but how, Benjamin, do I hear God's inner voice? And of course, that is quite a task. I don't have time to get into it now, but yes, there's a lot that goes behind that, so we're going to have to come back to it. But again, just wanted to share those two main points. Speak, Lord, your servant is listening, and to do so, to listen then in silence. The last point, point number 10, is celebrate well the sacramental life of the church. And here's the thing that I want to say about the sacraments. I think a lot of young people think about the sacraments and think that they're kind of like pretty cool, somewhat boring kind of rituals in a mandatory ceremonial way that we Catholics express ourselves, or something like that. And so I think a lot of people, young people particularly, put up maybe with the sacraments, but maybe don't receive what they could receive from them. And here's what I want to tell you. It's simply that we, human persons, are a combination of a body and a spirit, okay, in the form of a person, created in God's image and likeness. And so what that means is God, who is complete spirit, in his wisdom and in his love, made it possible in the person of his Son, Jesus Christ, to love us in a spiritual way, in a completely spiritual way, but also in a material way, in a sensual way. Now, please don't blow that word sensual out of proportion. Don't let your mind go into the gutter right now. But really, we do need to be loved in a material way, in a physical way, right? My wife does that for me all the time when she gives me a hug, and my kids. And I need that, you know. We all need this material love from God, and he brings that to us in the sacraments in a very mystical way. And I just wanted to encourage everybody that sacraments, they are so real, they are such real points of God mediating his love and grace to us that stop recording. Oh, no, what does that mean? That oh, it's still going. I'm sorry, I got distracted. That God does this for us. God does this for us. He mediates his love to us spiritually, yes, and also materially in the sacramental life of the church. And so we can tangibly, and really, and truly, and substantially, especially so in the Eucharist, receive God's physical and spiritual love for us. So, again, real quick recap, 10 points. Practice the presence of God in all things. Allow God to love you always and frequently. Do your very best to love God in all things, especially in the little things. Imitate Christ. Do God's will in everything. Point number 6. Reflect on your inner life and amend it when necessary. Number 7. Reflect on your actions and amend them when necessary. Number 8. Have a humble opinion of yourself and realize your need and your dependence on God's providence. Number 9 is to pray. Number 10 is celebrate well the sacramental life of the church. Okay, all. I hope that helps you. God bless you, and see you next time.